I'm not. Look, I didn't get any money from the stimulus. My, Teresa did, and some of the other people that I know did, but I didn't. I'm self-employed, and I didn't request any money from it. And but I see a lot what it's
Why not?
done, because like it just to me like I have a lot of like issues that I have to deal with financially, and I don't want to complicate them any more than they already are. You know what I mean? And especially like tax issues basically that I have to resolve a little here and there. And so I don't want to like get money from the government and then go back. Oh well, why did you take this if you know you owed this or you did this or did that? So until I get my own personal issues resolved, I'm not gonna put myself in another predicament where they could be like, well, you did some fraudulent thing or you did this and did that. So I'm like, all right, if it's owed to me down the line, maybe I can get it. If not, it didn't make or break me. $1,200 doesn't make or break anybody. To be honest with you, what did it do for anybody? If you were to average out the $1,200 for the amount of time that it took from then to now, how much money is that worth? That's less than $3 a day, right? It's like what, $2 a day from this point on now at this point because it's they
I
gave
mean,
it.
at this point, yes. At this point, yes. It has run its course at this point, which is unfortunate. I
What
know
do
that
you?
it helped me, but it helped me specifically when I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that now we're in a road where for the most part, we have an idea that this is going to either you believe it or not, but there's going to be a real second large wave here happening. If it's not if you want to call it a third wave, you can, but it's a second wave really, and it's going to happen, and we're still going to be closed for a while.
And they're
We're
calling it
not going to
normal.
like.
They call what's
We're
crazy
gonna
is
have to
that
call it. We're gonna kind of call it normal. Yeah.
they're calling it normal. I was watching something again today where it was saying like in this country they're cool with knowing that it's going to be double or triple the amount of people getting sick, and yet they want people to go back to work and act like life is normal. That's not cool, man. They compare this to Australia. I was watching Secular Talk, and with Kyle Kalinske, great show, in my perspective, but whatever. He was basically saying that in Australia they have zero COVID cases, or was something like zero COVID cases, either today or the last couple days or whatever it is. While we're like on the hundreds of thousands. What is it? What did they say? It's like 100,000 a day or something. Like some crazy amount. D-
So I want to tell you. So that's 100% true, and
mm,
almost we should talk about the. We should move to the COVID stuff that we have because
yeah,
Australia does come up here. Actually, this is one of the impacts that I wanted to talk to with our guest.
yeah,
Um, though it's only an indicator for us because it is another country.
mm,
Obviously, there's going to be differences between Australia, the United States, the UK, etc.
yeah.
But they are all major countries that have the same, um, pretty much.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, perfect, great. So if you look at this article, it's interesting because the graphs at the that are at the bottom are the more interesting part. The employment fall and recovery since March. So look, if you look in here, you see the change in uh, basically it's underutilization, so it's underemployment. So
Hmm.
basically, it's a way of saying underemployment. And if you look at it, it's specifically in this one, it shows that 25 to 34-year-old men, every single group of men, it's up significantly. And what's interesting is that if you go lower on the article, you'll actually see that women are actually the ones that are being suffering from unemployment and like a fall in and recovery from unemployment faster. So basically, you're going to see the women had the first loss of jobs, had the
Hmm.
heaviest loss of jobs first, and then they are slightly recovering. It seems in the outset, but at the same time, it's showing that the unequal markers that happen because of COVID, and that you can't escape that there is a loss of jobs in these areas. These are recession numbers. I apologize for not stating these.
Yeah.
So if you actually go back to the previous graph, you
Yeah.
can see the unemployment numbers as well, and that shows a significant showing
Excuse me. Sorry.
of women I understand that the men 25 to 34 who aren't specialized, and this
Hmm.
is an interesting discussion that I really wanted to have, is that older people that are older are working,
Yep.
and they're still working to this day in a lot of these countries, in the US especially, and almost to their detriment. Like there should be younger people who are doing these unfortunately painful jobs, but 20 it as it shows here, 25 to 34 seems to be hit very heavily, and as well as women 35 to 44, which I just thought was an interesting throw, that like there's such a gap between these two groups.
Yep.
Like yes, the 3 percentage points versus 1 percentage point is actually a huge difference.
Yep. 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 That was crazy, man. That's crazy. Like, it breaks my heart to see everybody suffering, man. And the government, like we elect these people, they elect their people, and everybody's suffering, man. And I think this country's got it worse. We decided to elect an idiot, right, and let him control what's going on. He's firing and hiring all the worst people. He's firing the best people, hiring the worst people, and it's just making it worse for us. Are you done with this clip before
Yeah,
you want? All
you're
right.
good.
Yeah. So and like you see how the other countries are handling it. Yes, in some cases they're worse, and in some cases they're better. But I feel like I just can't wait. Like I can't wait till Biden comes in. I'm not saying he's going to be the solution to all of our problems, but at least he'll have some competent people there, and he'll have his ear open a little bit more, and not be such a narcissist in regards to making decisions. Like he's going to do what it takes to make his legacy better. Trump was just thinking of himself, thinking that he knew all the answers and would do things the way he wanted to, and he's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
I
It's
mean, look, he's just not an honest actor. I
not at
think that
all.
we have to understand that. Like
Yeah.
from a interpersonal level, we have to start to understand he's just not an honest actor, especially the people who I think are in the left side of the spectrum and they feel some way about it.
Yeah.
Um he It'll never make you feel, he'll never care how you feel about it. So stop caring, like you have to stop caring in a way. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that from like don't care about the impact, but I mean you have to stop caring about the everyday grind of him, because yes, it will end. It
Yeah.
may not end now because he might still blather on
Who
for
you're
years.
talking about? Trump? He's definitely going to.
Trump, Trump,
Yeah,
yeah, he
they said something. There was an article talking about how Fox News was offering him money so that he could be a host, and they're kind of afraid that if he starts his own network, that it's going to interfere with their stuff, because he's already tarnished Fox's name, because Fox has agreed to agree with the fact that he didn't win the election. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. This dude's crazy, man. Like he's capable of anything. And like we talked about last episode about the whole Israeli thing, and with the assassination and everything. I don't know what this guy's got planned for the next couple of weeks, several weeks that he's here, and he's very unpredictable, man. I don't know.
which is the real defining part of this, is that he is just way too unpredictable as a
Yeah,
person.
yeah. I mean, he's
We're definitely going to
predictable.
talk.
He's
Go ahead.
predictable in the sense that he's going to make the worst decision out of all the decisions he has options with. That's the only thing he's predictable with. The only thing is we never know what that option's going to be. You know what I mean? That's like he's such a buffoon. Like if I put like options on the table and said this is 1, 2, and 3, and three is the worst, he's going to pick 3 or maybe 2 if 2 is the second worst. He's not going to pick the most common sense righteous thing to do. He's going to pick whatever suits his needs or whatever he feels is going to be whatever, and that's what's scary. But because we don't know anything about what's going on behind the scenes, it's even scarier because us as citizens, we're hoping that he's making decent decisions. Like he's got the nuclear football, you know what I mean? So it's like, please God, let him get out of office without him using it. You know what I mean? It's a scary thought to think that a man with his mentality can start a war. He even said something about like they were trying to start set up things where they can unilaterally start things without going through Congress. Even though they said that that's not going to happen, you know, he's been trying to do things where he could do whatever it is he wants to do without having
He's
to go.
stating that his executive power has the initiative to basically start a war, which
Yeah,
is the manuscript that basically allowed George W. Bush to go to war.
yep, yep,
So, I mean, he's using a precedent that exists, unfortunately,
yep,
and he's wielding it. He's wielding it like a sword.
yep, 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 yep. Which is scary, man. It's like
Which actually
Bozo the clown with a nuke. That's basically what that is,
yes,
man.
was a- that was a nuke.